Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to do a quick video on how to make edits to the new website. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so we should be good. So this is the new website, and everything is built out and pretty much working except for figuring out how you want to handle the schedule section. So accompanying an email, you should have a question about that. And then I didn't know if you plan to do anything other than Instagram. I know you have Instagram currently, but if you wanted to expand, I wasn't sure. See if I can mute these notifications. Just turn it off right now. All right, so everything is currently live at the dev URL. We can make changes as needed, but to log in, and this will change based on the new live website once it's launched, but it'll basically be whatever your URL is. So whether it's this or your live website, and then /WP-admin, and that'll be also included in the link or email. And from here, you'll log in with your username, which will be provided to you, and it'll take you into your back end of the website. So there's a couple things that you'll see here that a lot of these notifications you can ignore, but if there's anything concerning, feel free to let me know. But you'll see a lot of your menu items here. The main sections that I think you guys will be messing with the most would be either media, which is where you drag and drop any files, whether it's video, images, PDFs, documents, all of that goes in here. And then maybe forms and definitely pages. Pages will be your main place that you'll be hanging out. Forms, if you ever need to look at entries that were sent, maybe you didn't get the email or you deleted it or you can't find it, you have backups of every form submission on your website as well, just as a backup. And then pages will basically be all of your pages about your site. So about us, contact, home, and nutrition. You don't have to go in here to make edits to the pages, but you can. This is another way to go in and make edits. You can click on view to view the page, which brings up the page here. And then you can also hit, let me go back, edit with Elementor to edit the page. Or if you need to duplicate a page because you like the layout of it, but you want to create like new content for a new page, you would hit EA duplicator. And it basically creates a carbon copy of that page. And then you just go in and make your text and image edits. And that way you can not have to, you don't have to like recode anything. You just replace content that's already there. So I'm going to go to the main page because what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh this and you're going to see a black bar here at the top. I am logged in, right? Refresh again. Yeah, there we go. So this is the new administrative bar. And it gives you a couple things that you can do while you're going through the site. So maybe you're navigating and you're like, you know what, I need to make a change to this page. So from here, you would go into edit with Elementor. I'm going to go ahead and click that. What that's basically going to do is open up an editor. It's called Elementor. It's very widely used. It's very flexible and it's very user friendly. It can be a little overwhelming at first because it's so massive, but it does let you do a whole lot of edits to the site. So we'll just go through some of the ones that I think you guys will want to do regularly. So one of the things you see as I'm hovering over things, they start to highlight with this pink box. And sometimes even at the footer, they'll start highlighting with a blue box. That's basically, the blue indicates that it's going to open up a whole different template. The footer obviously it's replicated across all pages. It's used across all pages. So it's a template that is reused in multiple places. Whereas like this section here, it's only on this page. So that's why they're different colors. But I just want to make sure that that's indicated. So, you know, if you click on the blue section, it's going to open up a whole different template, not the one you're trying to edit specifically on that page. So on the home page, we have this header where we have the custom intro header text. And we did create this custom video, which we pieced together from multiple places of resources that we pulled video from. I did have to modify it to be small enough to load on the page, but let me go ahead. Normally you can click up here to get to it, but see how it's like making it go away? So I can't click on the pink. So what also you can do is you can right click and then hit edit container, and that's going to edit this whole container here. Anything that you can edit in the container, not these individual boxes, but the background container itself. And the reason I wanted to show you that is if I go under style, you can see the video that I created. The link is here. So if you ever want to replace that with a video, you would upload it in that media folder that I showed you with all the images, which is where you would also store your videos. And then you would just copy the URL to it and paste it here. And that would replace this background video. I also have a background fallback image, and that's basically an image, and you can change this too just by clicking on it and selecting something else from the media library. But the whole reason that that is there is if someone's on a slow device or maybe a mobile device where the video won't play, this is like the backup, basically, a low resolution backup that will load on small devices. So you can change this out to whatever kind of image you want. You just want it to be a fairly large, wide image. You don't want it to be narrow and tall like a portrait on a phone. You want it to be more landscape. So if you do replace it, be sure to replace it with something that's horizontal like this. And then there's also background overlay because you want the text to be readable. If I took this overlay off entirely, you can still kind of see the text because most of these videos are dark. I'm checking to see if any of them are light. Like that one's a little awkward with the text. So we basically have like a kind of a, yeah, and this orange looks awful on this light background here. So we kind of added like a darker background, and you can change the intensity of how dark that background is. I think here's probably pretty good because you can still see the video, but it's not taking away from the text. But it's basically a black color, and then this is the opacity. If you wanted to change it to orange, you could do that. Orange, like this. I wouldn't do that while you have orange text, but you know, you have that availability if you did want to change the color of whatever the background is. I'm gonna change it back to black. I think we had the opacity kind of, well, maybe a little darker, like there. So those are the kind of the customizations you can do to this background here. If you click on any of these elements, it'll open up on the left here. That's how Elementor works. You kind of click on the right, open on the left, and it lets you edit everything that's in there. So we have this this animated headline, which is where it switches out this word. So the start of the word is the before text, the where, and then the rotating words that you want to switch out. If you want to change these at some point, you just add a new one on another line, or just take one out and add a new one, and it'll change all the words here. You don't have to do any code or styling. And then whatever the word after happens is the word after here. So, and then I changed a lot of the colors and sizes and fonts settings that you're going to do are under this style tab. And that's pretty much for everything. So anything we edit, if you go under style, you should be able to do some customization. But the text color by default is white, but the animated text to change to orange. You can change that to whatever color you want. Orange obviously goes with the branding, so I made it orange, but you can change that, or if you want it to be a different font, you can go under typography and kind of go through the fonts and see if you found one you like. Like, for example, if I wanted it to be this font, I would have to play with it. I don't like that font. I just would keep it all together. But you do have that option. So, and then the same with this box. You just click on it, and then you can start changing any of the text that you want in here. And then the button, we don't have it linked anywhere yet because again, I got to figure out how you want to do your scheduling in the free class. But, or if you don't want it to link anywhere, you just want it to be there for people to know that they can get their first class free, you could do that. But if we want to link it somewhere, this is where we would put the URL for it to be linked. You can change the text here to be whatever you want it to say. You can even add an icon to it if you want. Like if you wanted like a little weight icon, you have a whole library of icons that you can utilize. I'm going to take the icon off for now, but you do have that option to add icons to buttons as well if you decide you want to do that. So scrolling down, a lot of these are mostly just text. If you need to edit any of the text here, you can do that. Just click on it, edit over here. Some of them that are like the large paragraphs will be more like the word processor, like Microsoft Word. So you've got your options up here like bolds, italics. headers, a couple other things, how you want to align it. All those options are available. Here is a kind of a quick video that we uploaded. You can click and choose a different video if you upload one. We only got the 3 videos currently, but you can also replace it with an image. Now, let's say you did want to replace this with an image. One of the things that you can do with Elementor is this little icon up here, which is like a grid of squares. If you click on that, that gives you a whole bunch of different things that you can just drag and drop into the site. So currently this is a video, but maybe I wanted an image here instead. So I'm going to drag it. You can see where it highlights pink here in that same column. Maybe I'll put it before it. So now I have a placeholder for an image, and I can click on the image. It opens up my media library, and I can just choose a different image to select and place in there. So it's very easy to add a video or an image or any kind of content as well. And if you decide you don't like it, you can always right click and delete it as well. But you do have the option to just drag and drop any of these elements, icons, text. For basic text, I would just use a text editor. For basic headers, I would just use the heading one. A lot of these are self-explanatory. If you wanted a little divider, like a little line or something, you could certainly have that. But going down here, pretty much the same sort of thing. You can click the whole container, which is what the pink is, with the little tab, and the container being this orange background section. And then if you click inside of it, it's just got this heading that you can type in and change the color on. If you don't want it to be, black, you can do black. You want it to be white, red, whatever. So you have that functionality under style to customize it. If you decide you don't like this orange box, you can just click up here and click delete, and it's gone. Now I'm going to Control Z because we want that to stay, but you do have that option. Scroll down here, same thing. We've got our images that we've added in here. We can make them however big or small we want. If you want the image to be bigger or smaller, I think I might make this one a little smaller. And right now it's based on percentage, which is fine. You can have it based off percentage, meaning percentage of your screen size, or if you want it to be an exact size, you can change this to pixel and then change it to what the exact size is, and it'll stay that size across all devices. I don't necessarily recommend that, especially for mobile devices. I usually try to go by percentage. For example, while you're logged in, if you want to see how something looks on mobile, you've got this little responsive mode icon down here. If you click on it, it opens up this little menu and it lets you see what it would look like on a tablet or on a phone. So this is how the site currently looks on a phone, which is very clean. Yeah, nothing, maybe this I need to adjust. So one of the things you can also do while you're looking at how it looks in mobile or tablet is you can make adjustments where, under style here, no, advanced. So I've got some padding here. I want this text to not be on top of this little wave divider that I've got here. So this icon here means the changes I'm making right now only happen on mobile, which is great because when I make this change, I don't want it to happen on desktop as well. So I want, like, we'll say maybe 50 pixels of padding here so that this is not right on top of this. But if I go to tablet mode, that padding's not there anymore. And if I go to desktop mode, it's a different padding. And actually tablet, I think I'm going to increase to be 50 as well. That did the whole thing, didn't it? So we want the whole thing to be 40. I want to unlink these because I want this one to be 50. Actually, maybe 60. You can kind of change your widths of everything as well. This column, yeah, I think everything's fine. So back to desktop, because that's what I'm going to do most of this tutorial in. And then we've got this section here, which is only on the home page currently. If you want me to have it be on every page, let me know. I can stick it down here in the footer. That way it replicates on all pages. But it's all of the images for your partnerships and stuff. And you can add as many as you want to this. It's set up as a carousel, so it does spin or rotate. It only shows 3 at a time. You can change it if you'd rather it to show all 4 at a time. And then I I think we can stop it from rotating if you don't want it to, but that's up to you if you want more than that. I like having a little movement on a website. It kind of draws the eye to certain things. So if you wanted to add or delete things, you have these 4 images that are currently selected. You would click on it, it opens up your gallery, and you can even change the order of these. You can X them out to get rid of one if it's no longer relevant. You can add to gallery and pick something else, like we'll just pick a random image, and now that image is in the rotation. So obviously I try to keep them all similar sizes, so this image wouldn't necessarily work. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that image. But you do have the ability to add as many images as you want. I did grayscale all of them out because we wanted them to be more consistent color, and since we have the orange background. Now we could change this to a black background if we wanted, if we didn't want the orange, something like that, and that may actually look cleaner. So I'm gonna leave that black for now, but if you did want to change that back to orange, you could certainly do that just by going again under style, and then we're on the background section, and we choose the color here. Or you could have it be an image too, but you would want to probably put an overlay over that image so it wasn't so, well, here, I'll show you as an example. If I were to just make it an image, and we'll say this image here, right? So it could work. And actually, let me center it. It could work, but it's pretty busy. What I usually do is I do what's called a background overlay, and it's just basically adding a color. We'll hit classic and then black. And it's like on that header at the top of the page where we're just kind of doing an overlay to mute the background a little bit so it doesn't overwhelm the actual content of what's supposed to be there. So this makes it a little bit more readable. I am going to take off that background. You can add it if you want later, and we'll just make it a plain background. Or you can do some kind of texture image. If you have a texture image, you can certainly do that. But you have that flexibility to change out the background colors and stuff like that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much all of the elements on the home page. I guess testimonials, actually, we can link this up while we're here. So when you want to link up something that already exists on your site, it has the ability, if I start typing in testimonials, it's going to drop down a list of pages that mention that word. So now I can click testimonial, it puts the whole URL there, hit update, and now that's linked to your testimonials page, which is pretty convenient. This one, I might put about us as the link to that button. Not sure where you want that button to link. So now that one's linked. This one I think also would probably go to about us. And then this one I'm still not sure. And then these. So I'm going to link this one to services. Now I do recommend, if you don't do it now, at least do it at some point. Each service have its own page. Simply because it's going to help your SEO later down the road. Because while we have a lot of text on the services page, you could put a whole lot more if each service had its own individual page. Now all of these 3 are linked up to their proper, well, to the services page basically. But if you have an individual page for each service, that gives you more opportunity to have more text to rank on Google, essentially. And I can help with that if that's something you decide you want to do later on. So now that we're done, I went up to the top, and I should have walked you through it while I was doing it, but actually, let me go ahead and do that again. So if I'm in the editor and I'm editing the page, and I've done all my edits, and I hit update, which is your save button, that pink update button on the bottom left here. It'll be pink when there's an edit to be saved. I think by default it's this dark gray. So if I make an edit, this is going to be pink. I hit save, I'm done. All your changes are live immediately. If you happen to make a mistake on a page and you haven't saved it yet, hit Control-Z on your keyboard. Usually that undoes what you've just done. So you don't have to worry about messing anything. Now, if you do host with us, we do backups daily, weekly, and monthly. So if you make a bunch of edits, next day you try to do something, you mess something up and you can't get it to undo, I can restore backups from the day before. So that's not an issue. Anyway, so if you want to get out of this editor, you're going to go up here to the top left 3-line. It's basically called a hamburger menu because it opens up a larger menu. and you're going to go to view page, and that's going to take you to the live page that you've now edited. So here's our page with our changes that we've done, which is really the only big change I did was I changed this to a black background on the bottom. I actually like that better because it's not as overwhelming with the orange. And I'm still not even sure I like this divider here. Maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to go into About Us. We're going to go through this a couple more times just to show you how to make these edits. So About Us is going to edit with Elementor. We've got our title here at the top with a kind of a brief intro sentence about you. Again, the amount of text that we have on the site is not a lot, but it's enough that it should help you get more ranked with Google. So I know it may seem weird to have intro sentences, but again, it's a way for Google to read that information and be like, oh, that's what this page is about. Let me rank it correctly. So we have a little section about you. I think I forgot to put out a word there or something. So I added that back in, but you can change this, your bio, just by clicking on here, and you can change out your picture at any time just by clicking on it and picking a new picture in your library. Again, if you need to add something to your library, all you would really do is just pick an image and drag it. You see how it lights up blue? That means it's going to upload that image or that video. So same thing down here. You've got your title. You just click on any of these and you can make the edits over here. You click on here. You can make the edits on the left. Your FAQ, I put into what's called an accordion because it opens the question. That means that basically I did this way to condense the text, but still have all of the text. It's just not making the page abnormally long. And you can see over here on the left, it's two different accordions. So we'll click here on the one on the left. You got 4 questions here. If I click on this one, you've got 3 questions. So all I have to do is click on the question. Here's the title, which is the question, and then here's our answer. If I go down, or if I click it again, it closes it, and I open up the next one. Here's our question. Here's our answer. So you can click and change any of these questions, any of these answers, or add a whole new one. We'll do a test question and test answer, and then hit update. And then you've got another FAQ on there. If you want to delete one, you can just hit X to delete it. So FAQ is going to be very easy for you to make updates to. If you're going to do another one, I would start on the right just to kind of even out how many is on each column, but I think that's it for About Us. I'm going to hit update. And we'll view the page live. And we'll go under services. Now again, all of your services are currently combined on this one page. I do recommend eventually maybe making them all individual pages, but it'll depend on how much content you have. We can add testimonials. You can put tips. I mean, there's so many different things you can add to each page to make it worthwhile having its own page. But as this updates, second. Got it. Here I had to get rid of. All right, so services, the same sort of thing. You've got your title up here, descriptive sentence about the services. This is what's called a icon list because it has an icon and then it's a list. So you can click any of these and change the title. You can technically change the icon too, but I don't think that you're going to need to. And I have it linked to what's called a menu anchor, meaning that if I click Pilates, it's going to come down to the Pilates section. If I click strength training, it's going to come down to the strength training session. It's just an easy way for them to get to that content immediately. And then we have our first class free button. You got an image here that we can change out at any time. Scrolling down, these are all images that I've sourced for you. Y'all provide the Canva link so you can utilize those images. You can change them out to whatever you want. We've got our title here, a text box of text, and then we've got another icon list. So you can click on any of these and update and change. It's just the title. They're not linking anywhere. You can duplicate and add another one. You can delete any of these. And it's the same for all of these. You've got your image, your title, paragraph, and then your list that kind of highlights what that service is. So if you want to get rid of any of these in the list, feel free to go through and customize those. go to the live page. I don't think I had anything I wanted to save. And then we'll go to nutrition. Nutrition's a much shorter page. We could certainly, and I think it might be a good idea. It's up to you. I probably should do this more in the email, but I know that you get a personalized report and eating guide, but maybe if you create something that has like basic information that we could start collecting emails and then they get that for free sent to them in response in the email. We could certainly put a form here for that. And then I have a little thing that's just like a paragraph about your story. If you want to put any kind of information about what it is that you do here, a lot of this is all edited the same way. We'll go through it, but I don't think there's anything different here that we haven't done on any of the other pages as far as editing. Yeah, so we just have an image here, which I pulled from your existing site. We've got a title, we've got the list with all the different items. I put this image here. I don't know if that's just a link anywhere. It doesn't on your current site, but and again, any of these you just click on and you can edit over here your heading, another heading, a text editor with text in it. If you need to add a new section, you would basically click add new container. We would hit flex box and then however many columns you think you're going to want. It's 2 columns. Now you've got 2 columns to start dragging and dropping items into, whether it's an image, whether it's a title, whether it's text editor. So you can add new sections as needed as well, which is convenient. Let's go back out. Our clients, it's just some testimonials. I wasn't sure how you wanted to display the before and after image here, and then I just added 2 testimonials that you had on your existing site. I don't know if you have any Google reviews. I don't even think you have any Google account for the business, and that's going to be probably your best bet. And I'll send over instructions on how to do that as well. But let's say you have more testimonials that you want to add to the site. That's one thing I wanted to go over with you. So a lot of this is the same stuff where you got your testimonials, you got your text, you got your author. This is a gallery of 2 images together. So you can add additional images to that. I have it 1 column. So they display on top of each other rather than side by side. I left this section grayed out. It's something that I added in case you did want to start adding reviews from different locations. It's not live on the site, but I didn't want to recode it. So if you decide you want to have this type of display about your reviews, it's here. If we ever want to make it live, we would basically edit the section. And then under advanced, there's this responsive section that says whether to hide it on desktop, tablet, or mobile. So I have it hidden everywhere. If you ever want to edit it, and then we go through and make it live, this is where you would go to unhide it, basically. And then down here is just, we have 2 sections or 2 columns for reviews. So if you decide you want to add another review, what I would do is right click on this, the pink part, which is the whole box, duplicate it, and it just adds another section down here. You would click on the review, change the name, and then done. And the same over here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this section. So it's 2 columns with testimonials inside of them, and you would just go to inside the testimonial, this pink box, right click, oh, there's duplicate, and it just copies it. And then you just go in and make your edits. That way you don't have to like reconfigure everything. You just edit the text. So I'll go ahead and delete that. Coming out of this, we'll go into contact us. So from here, I just have your basic contact information, your phone. I know you didn't want to have your exact address, but we do have a little map of the general area, your email, and then your Instagram, which is currently linked up. I do have to link up this one, I think, which I'll do that here in a second. And then we have a basic form that sends to your email. We can add and change whatever questions you want to have initially. Just let me know if you decide you have anything you want to add to it. But this will just send your email. If people can email you through the form or they can just email you directly, but having more places for people to contact you, whichever their preferred method um, is always a bonus. So I don't think there's anything we're going to need to edit in here, but I am going to edit because I want to show you how to get into the footer in case there's things down there that you want to edit eventually. So we're in our Elementor editor. And so you can see all of these you can click on to make adjustments. You can put your actual address, your phone. Well, I did set these up so that if someone clicks on this on their phone, it does open up their dialer to make it easier for them. And the same with email. If they click on this, it's going to open up their email app on their phone, and that'll just make it easier for them to send an email. If you ever need to change the map, you would just click edit up here, and you can type in your whole address and it'll zoom in on that address. So right now I just put Urbana, Maryland, but if you have an actual address you want to put here, you would just type that in here and it'll change the map to that location. Now, let's say you wanted to edit something in the footer. So I'm going to go ahead and click on footer, and that's going to open that footer up as its own template. So now we are editing the footer, and if I click, you see how everything here is pink? That means this is the whole page editor that I'm no longer in, but I could if I clicked edit page. But now I'm in the footer, so this is where I'm going to make edits. So you can click on any of these items, change out the text here. If you want to change out the item here, we've got our phone, which again links to the phone number, opens up their dialer app, and the email. If you need to change your hours, you can click on any of these items here and change out which days have what time. And then I wasn't sure if you had an email list. I did add the functionality that we can add an email list, but let me know if that's something you want. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead and delete this whole column. And that should be it for the footer. If we were to go into the header, don't know. Yeah. So you can go in the header and change, like basically it's just your logo. The menu automatically pulls from the menu in the back, and I'll show you how to add it and edit menu items here. I'm going to go ahead and delete YouTube and Facebook, and then I'm going to grab your Instagram URL while I'm here and add that. And I also noticed when I hovered over, it went blue. So the hover, I don't want it to be blue. I actually want it to be the orange. So there. So now when they hover over that icon, it'll be the orange. And then we have the schedule now. Again, I'm not sure where that's supposed to link. It doesn't go anywhere yet, but we can change the text there too. We can change that to the free class text or schedule or however you want that to be. We would just button text, like very customizable. And then we just link it somewhere, and then that one's done. So I'm gonna hit update. And that's pretty much your entire page. I do want to show you in the back end because I forgot to show you the menu item. I did the update, right? Yeah. So if I want to go back into the dashboard, I'm just going to hit exit instead of the view page option. That's going to take you back into your website dashboard. And that's where like your form entries are, your media that you update, but under appearance and then menu. So this is if you create a whole new page and you want to add it to that top menu, these are your menu items currently. You technically don't need to have the homepage one because your logo automatically goes back to the homepage, but some people like to have it because they feel like people need that more direction how to get there. So let's say I have a whole new page that I want to add to the menu. I would basically have already created it. I can go to view all instead of most recent to see every page that's available. And maybe I want to add, this is the new page. I'll hit add to menu. It automatically adds it to the bottom of the menu, meaning it's all the way on the right. And I can drag and drop that into whatever order I want. If there's a menu item I don't want anymore, I can open it up and hit remove. And whatever change I make, I just want to hit save menu and then it's done. So now the menu is updated on the home page and we're good to go. If you need to add more users to be able to make edits to the site, you would go under all users. And actually, I'm going to go ahead now and send you a login so that you have it. The only issue is because you use Yahoo, Yahoo is very well known for not receiving emails. And I'm not sure why they have such an issue. So I'm gonna make you an administrator. And there you go. So you can change your password once you first log in, but now you have administrative access as well. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else that you would need to have to do. You know how to create a new page, you know how to edit the pages, you know how to add a menu item, you know how to get into the footer. I'm sure you probably want to change this guy out. So you can just, we can find an image of a person and cut out the background and stick them in there instead. We've got our testimonials linked up. Yep, there we go. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and send you the rest of the information, but I mean, the site's ready to go. It's just a matter of what content you want up and ready to be live. So let me know if you have any questions.